Hey everybody, I'm going to do a question and answer for today's YouTube video, and boy, I haven't done one of these in over a year. Okay, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and dive right in and answer as many questions as I can. The first question is, what age would you allow your teens to start dating? And neither me or my husband, I don't think we would have like a certain age, like you have to be this amount before you're allowed to do that. I think it will probably vary some depending on the child and what they're into at the time and what their maturity level is, all that kind of stuff. So there's probably obviously an age that is too young, but I'm not going to say that there is an age limit. Okay, second question I'm going to answer is, do you sleep with your babies? And I don't. Short answer is no. I have tried a couple times to sleep with them like in the bed with me, and that definitely didn't work when we just had like a normal queen size bed. It's just the babies are sweaty and they kick around, and I don't sleep good. I'm a extremely light sleeper to begin with, so having a baby in the bed next to me it doesn't work very well. I just don't get enough sleep. We tried it again with Cody because we've had a king size bed in our Hawaii house where he was born. We have a king size bed there and one here in Colorado, and I did try it for quite a while, and it was okay for a little while. Like when he was very tiny, I could do it some, but I knew I was not getting my best sleep. And when I finally did move him into his own spot, like it just felt so good. I was able to just like sleep on my stomach or whatever felt the most comfortable and be able to spread out, and it was such a huge relief. I feel like I can get into a deeper sleep faster, not worrying about the baby being right next to me or whatever. That's how I am. I know it's not that way for everybody. The next question I'm answering is, favorite baby item or gear that's really helpful to you. Two of the only things I can think of right now are my Ergo 360 baby carrier. It comes with a newborn insert so that you can like use it for a really long time. You can have them forward or rear facing, and yeah, that's just something that I use a lot. The nose Frida is another thing that I use a lot. It's just so much easier than a nose syringe, like a bulb syringe, and it's kind of disgusting. It feels disgusting using a nose. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's like there's like a long tube straw that you put in your mouth, and on the other end is like this contraption that you can put it up to the baby's nose and you suck on it. Like there's a filter system and everything to where it can't get into your mouth, but it's still a little bit of a mind game that you have to get past. If you can get past that and do it, it is super helpful, and it works way better than a syringe. The baby still doesn't like it. He cries quite a bit when I do it, but it's way faster, it works way better, and I feel like it's not as sharp as a bulb syringe, if that makes sense. Like the end that would go into the baby's nose is more tapered, I guess, and I think that that's probably more comfortable for the baby. What are the ages of my children, and which age gap is my favorite and the least favorite? So we have 11, 9, 6, 4, and 3 months. And let's see, so the two oldest, there's 2 years between them, and then there's 3.5 years between the next two, which are also 2 years apart, and then there's 4 years between Remington and our baby Cody. My favorite age gap, I have no idea. I love it all. It's all great. Okay, the next question, how was postpartum recovery in Hawaii with not much family nearby to help? I always feel a little bit guilty saying this because I feel like it can be hurtful to my family or my husband's family if they're watching. But so far, I have not been that type of person that needs and wants my family there to help much. It's not because I don't love them or anything, but it's just not me. I'm a really independent person. I feel like my husband and I and our family as a whole is independent in a lot of ways. I'm not saying we never need anybody. I'm not saying that we're like isolated to where we don't want people in our lives or we don't have people in our lives, because we have a really great community here that we're a part of, and you know, we depend on each other in this community and everything. But for like, you know, something personal like that, so far throughout my life, through my married life, I have wanted to just deal with it on our own, and my husband's like that, has been like that as well. So it was not, I wouldn't say it was at all hard to not have any family, or like hardly any family there. My husband really did a lot of the cooking, which was great because we were in Hawaii. There's not like a lot of extra stuff going on there, so he had the time, and the kids had the time to do a lot of the work, and it worked out really well. And I just feel like, I don't know, here's what I can condense it down to. For me, I think it would be harder for me to have family or people trying to like help me all the time than it would be for me to figure it out on my own. And I don't know, I think that just goes with my personality or whatever inhibitions that I might have. How has having babies changed you? Wow, I feel like I could possibly go on and on with my answer to this question. Of course it's changed me in a lot of ways physically, but like mentally, I feel in so many ways that I'm so much softer. Not, I almost want to say weaker, but I don't think it's weakness. It's just like so much more tender. I don't know. I just feel like I have become way softer in my mentality towards children in general, towards babies. I've also, in many areas, I have loosened up so much in a lot of areas. And in some areas, I've grown more anxious as well. Overall, I like the person that I have become so much more than when I first started out. And I think that's so neat. There's so many deep things that can happen during your motherhood, and I just don't know how to explain it all, but it for sure changes your outlooks on life, your heart towards everything. Really shows you what matters in life, teaches you how selfish you are and how to be more giving. It stretches and grows you. If you're an introvert and you have extroverted children, that also very much changes you. Like, I'm still introverted, but I feel like I can do such a better job now at being with other people. And a lot of it's because my kids want to be with other people all the time, just all the time. Do you struggle with postpartum depression or baby blues? The answer is yes, I have. After little Marlon, I think I had a really slight touch of it, but not really that bad at all. With Sage, I had it very badly. I just didn't know what was wrong with me. I was so discouraged with life. I just felt like, I don't know, I was just so discouraged. I felt like life was never going to be good again or easy, and I had decided I didn't want any more children after Sage because it was too much. After Jericho, I don't think that I did. If I did, it was not much at all. I really prepared and planned ahead for him. With Remington, I think I got it some. Maybe like 4 weeks after he was born, I started to kind of, have those feelings. But then we went to Florida for a month when he was 6 weeks old, and of course, going to the beach helped tremendously. And so I don't think it was too bad after him. Now with Cody, he's almost 4 months old, and I don't think that I have gotten it at all, like not hardly even a touch of it. Like I think I got emotional maybe like a week or two after he was born, just for like a day or a day here and there or something. It wasn't much at all. And I really think it's because of the supplements I started taking this time. I'm not trying to sell you all anything, but if you want to go look it up for yourself or research it, I've been taking the Needed supplements. That's the brand name. It's called Needed. And I don't know, it seems like it's working really well. What was the hardest transition? 0 to 1 kid, 1 to 2 kids, so on. For me, I think that it was probably from 1 to 2 kids. And probably because that's when I had, the hard time with Sage and all that. 3 to 4 kids was also a bit hard, but I think 1 to 2 was definitely the hardest. Okay, something you would have done to prepare more beforehand. Advice to us without kids yet. I don't think you can prepare to have kids. Like, you can try to do all the things that people tell you to do, but man, every baby is so different. They're all the same, but they're not. They're the same, like, as far as like all their basic needs are usually quite the same, but like they're different. You're gonna have to learn to know your baby once it gets here, and maybe that sounds discouraging, I don't know, but that's kind of just how it is. You just kind of almost have to wait till they get here, and then you can figure out your baby, and sometimes that can take a while. I think you can definitely try to gain as much knowledge as possible of, like, what are hunger cues, what are sleep cues. Like, you can try to figure things out beforehand for sure, but you're still gonna have to learn your baby once it gets here. If I'm sleep training, I guess. I've had a couple questions about sleep training. I didn't read all of them. I don't really know how to talk about sleep training. I feel like people often associate that with the cry it out method. There's definitely things you can do from the start to give your baby a really good foundation, a good sleep foundation. And with a few of my babies, I knew in my head what I should do, but all the noise from social media, from other people, oh, it's bad to put your baby on their back, it's bad to put them on their belly, it's bad to have them in the bed with you, it's bad to put them in their own crib, it's bad to let them cry. There's so much noise, and it can just feel like, well, I don't know what to do. What in the world do I do? Everybody says something different. And that can be really hard to figure out and navigate that. But in my experience, I feel like there is some really solid basics that you can always come back to that always seem to work, for me anyways. And so, like, with Jericho, I think it was, I kind of got a little, not terribly much, but sort of freaked out about the putting them on their belly thing. And cause like I had put Marlon and Sage on their belly all the time to sleep, and I got kind of worried about it with Jericho, so I started trying to put him on his back, and like, it just didn't work. Even with like a swaddle, I just feel like it doesn't really work. I don't know, my babies, I don't know if all babies are like this. I'm assuming they're kind of similar, but they love to be on their belly. Like, it's cuddly for them. It feels secure for them. If they do the startle reflex and, like, scare themselves, it doesn't really scare them at all, because the bed's right there and they're just on the bed and they feel that and they're secure because they felt that, instead of just a wide open space when they got scared. Another one for me is not having them in the bed. This might sound really stupid, but I feel like it's totally a thing. I think that, like, especially little newborn babies that don't really know what's going on in the world yet, they can smell their mother. And if your baby is sleeping right next to you, it's just gonna keep waking up, because it's right there and it smells you. And I don't know, maybe that sounds dumb, but that is totally what it seems like to me. So getting them away from your body to sleep, I think it really helps quite a bit. And then with Cody, I was learning a lot about sleep cycles. I didn't know anything about those before, about how first your baby, like especially when they're newborn, they go into that active sleep first. And then after that, I don't know how long it is, maybe like 20, 30 minutes. Then they go into that deeper sleep. And then that cycle starts over again. And so like that total cycle length is like from 60 to 90 minutes. And then also newborns, I don't know why I don't remember this with my 3 older babies, but with the 2 younger ones, I just remember grunting, so much grunting, like all through the night. Every time they're sleeping, they're just like always making these grunting noises. And apparently it's from their underdeveloped digestion, and you know, their body's trying to learn how to regulate and digest and everything. And that lasts for like 2 months at least, I feel like. But with them grunting like that, to me, I always felt like, oh great, they're waking up again. And so I go pick them up to try to like nurse them back to sleep or comfort them back to sleep. And actually, I just woke them up. They weren't awake. They were in active sleep, kind of grunting around. They weren't actually awake. I woke them up. And like that right there can really start to ruin your baby's sleep training. So if you do have a newborn and they're grunting all the time, definitely just keep waiting. Just keep waiting and like see if they settle back down. Just wait a little bit longer. Don't pick them up. Maybe if they're in a car seat, rock their car seat a little bit. If they're on their belly, maybe just slightly pat their butt a little bit. Just like, you know, anything to kind of help them keep sleeping. I feel like that really helps. And yeah, just don't pick them up until you know that they're awake and you have to pick them up. That's a really big tip, I feel like, for when they're tiny little newborns. Okay. All right, so that's all I'm going to answer for this video. There was definitely a few more that I didn't answer, so if you're here to see if your question got answered and it didn't, I'm sorry. I can't do all of them. Some of them are kind of, I don't know, some of them I have personal reasons for not wanting to answer, and then others it gets too long. And then some people will put in several questions, and I want to make sure that I try to get to like more people's questions instead of answering like everybody, like one person's 10 questions, if that makes sense. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have anything you want to chat about or talk about in the comments, go ahead and comment. I love chatting about all things baby and, you know, just all the kind of motherhood stuff. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and we will see you later.